Hello, I'm Passeray, and this is the All Puppies category of 102 Dalmatians, Puppies to the Rescue. There's just an cutscene there to skip. Time doesn't start until I gain control of the puppy, this level. So that'll be after the load screen and then after a cutscene. Now. And we're in Regent's Park, that's where we start out. And in this category, we are saving all the puppies. Which is actually not normal for this game because you don't have to save a single puppy to beat the game. There are 6 puppies in each level, so 96 puppies total. And you don't have to save a single one of them. You just have to beat Cruella 4 times. But this is the All Puppies category, so we'll be rescuing all 96 puppies. And 96 puppies is not 102. So if you count the 96 puppies, the 2 dogs that you can play as, the 2 parents, you get 100 puppies, 100 dogs. Then there's some debate on whether there are 102 puppies in this game, because there's 2 dogs on the level select screen, 2 Dalmatians. And so whether you count them or not determines if you think there's 102 Dalmatians. I don't know, I think that's kind of cheating to count the ones on the level select screen, but that brings it up to 102. And now we're in Toy Store. And we're in Toy Store because the plot of this game is very, very different from any 100 and however many Dalmatians movie. 101 Dalmatians, Cruella is trying to turn the puppies into a fur coat. 102 Dalmatians, she's also trying to turn the puppies into a fur coat. So this game kind of comes out of nowhere because in this game, Cruella has a toy line that is failing miserably. And she's decided that the solution to this is to kidnap all the pets in England and turn them into toys. Realistic pet toys. And I don't know, that's kind of more disturbing than turning them into fur coats. I mean, it all is, but I don't know where they came up with this one. I don't know why this was decided to be a better plot. Or maybe just a different one, I don't know. But here we are in Cruella's toy store. And so this game was released with the 102 Dalmatians movie, but there's actually evidence that it was supposed to be a 101 Dalmatians game. Because there's a demo out there that was distributed that has some like placeholder voice lines, and they refer to the dogs using names from the first 101 Dalmatians movie. So it seems like it was originally supposed to be just generally for 101 Dalmatians, and then 102 Dalmatians was coming out and they decided to switch it over and switch all the puppies to be the ones that were in the new movie. And I guess that works well since it has no plot related to either of them. So there's 6 puppies in each level. I'm at 5 right now. There's just one more to get before we leave Toy Store. And there we go. And you'll notice they all have unique voice lines. And there's some pretty fun ones. The voice lines repeat. They're not all completely unique, but they all have different things to say, and they all have different accents, even though we're all supposed to be in England. Some of them have southern accents. Actually, very few, if any of them, have British accents. But we're in England. This is Piccadilly. And I'm playing on PS2 right now, and you can tell that I'm on PS2 actually. Well, I'm playing the PS1 version on PS2, and you can tell that I'm on the PlayStation version because of this fog in Piccadilly. It doesn't exist in any of the other versions. The game also came out on Dreamcast and PC, but there's no fog there. And it seems to be because the PlayStation 1 couldn't render that entire square. So they put the fog in to make it so you can't tell it's not there. And the main division in categories is actually PC and console. There's leaderboards for both of them, because the PC and console versions have some differences that make it just better to split them up. For one thing, the load times are longer across the board on Dreamcast and PlayStation. But for another thing, there's some tricks that you can only do on the console version that aren't possible at all on PC. And there's also some differences in how the camera works.
You're a super puppy.
It follows you on PlayStation, but not on PC. Oh, that's a weird graphical glitch. Sometimes it looks like you're going through walls in this when you're really not. And that is something that's very particular to PlayStation. None of the other versions have such glitchy textures. And so on the console side, I'm playing on PlayStation, obviously, but Dreamcast is potentially faster in some situations because it has some faster load times than the PlayStation version. And also just less lag in places. We haven't fully tested it yet, but I just actually got the first Dreamcast run for this game on the All Puppies category. So I'm hoping we can learn some more about it in the future and see how it measures up.
Which way to the bathroom?
In conclusion, if you have a Dreamcast and want to run this game, we'd love to have you. Need more Dreamcast runners. But anyways, now we're in Big Ben. That did not work. That's an inconsistent trick that it's always worth trying. It'll get you up to the second level real fast. But instead we can take the stairs here. In Big Ben, when I was a kid, I had a very love-hate relationship with this level. And I think that's still true as a speedrunner. It is heavy on the platforming. You have to climb to the top of Big Ben without falling down. So it's definitely a frustrating level, and a very reset heavy one, but I'm gonna try to make it look easy. And you saw I just switched dogs, so right now I'm Oddball. I was Domino before. Domino has the domino spots on his ears, and Oddball has no spots. The reason we switched to Oddball is because she's got a voice line in one of the Cruella fights that's 2 seconds faster than Oddball's, and it's the only unskippable voice line in the whole game, so we switched to Oddball. Alright, now comes the place that was torture to me as a kid. We're gonna go up here. Not fall. Never mind. That's okay, we were still near the bottom. Okay. There's another puppy over here.
Keep up the good work.
Then across these pendulums. You'll notice that I roll a lot for my movement, and that's because rolling is the fastest way to get around. But you can't roll infinitely, so I have to intersperse jumps and rolls. Then I'm going to go over here to reload this enemy, because I'm going to be using it to get out of bounds, and I need it to be in a certain place. Now on this, the lineup is very important, so I'm going to perfectly regular. Probably good. Oh, that should have worked. Okay, that looked perfect until the end. I'm gonna try to use this bopper toy to get out of bounds, but... Operate. Ooh, okay, so we're gonna reload it again. This one can be a bit inconsistent too, but it does save some time with more platforming. And you get to see the out of bounds area. Okay. One more try. Perfect. Okay. So now we're out of bounds. This is the void that is Big Ben. And on Dreamcast version, you'd actually be able to see the next room already, but this version does not show us that much. There's a puppy that we're gonna get using a little bit of an out of bounds shortcut here. There it is. Perfect. Not get hit by the helicopter. This is where you could feel some lag on the PlayStation version. But that's Big Ben. Not too bad. Now we're on to the first Cruella battle. There's 4 of these, as I said earlier, and they usually involve flinging fruit at Cruella, so this time it's pineapples. We're on the top of Big Ben, and you know, the catapults that are on top of Big Ben. Of course. So she's flinging tomatoes at us, and if you hit this bell, actually, you can stun lock her by just continuously hitting it over and over again. That's that. Cruella 1 is done. And now we're on to Royal Museum. So this level's interesting because it's quest-based. You have to complete some quests for Fluffy. That was Fluffy that we just talked to. And Fluffy takes care of the museum, but all the artifacts are in the wrong places. So we have to put all the artifacts back in the right places before he'll let us leave. So we've got a Roman coin right now. We're bringing that back to Fluffy, the dinosaur exhibit. Next, we have to go and get the Scarab, which is in the Rome exhibit. And you actually saw there a nice example of a slope boost. That's a bit of movement tech in this game where if there's a slope and you jump and then roll on it, you'll gain a lot of speed. And the bigger the slope, the more speed you can get. So that one was a moderately sized one. That was a weird graphical glitch there, sorry. Surprised by that. Well, that's never happened before. That's what I'm supposed to say here. Now we're getting the dinosaur bone from the medieval room. Bringing it back to Fluffy. And now I'm going to do a quick out of bounds here to get up to the 2nd floor. I'm going to use this toast bot. This is a bot that flings toast, which is pretty cool, except it's trying to kill us. And so what I did was I got pushed out of bounds, and because I was pushed out of bounds, the game tried to figure out where to put me, and it decided that the best place was on the 2nd floor, because that's the vertical value that corresponded with where I was. Now I'm going to get a really big slope boost here. This one's a fun one. And if you didn't see the slope boost before, you'll definitely be able to see this one. There we go. So we bring the crown back to Fluffy. And then the last thing we have to get is the jelly donut, which you might notice isn't an artifact.
Thanks for rescuing me.
You'd be right. Fluffy has decided that we're not allowed to leave until we bring him a snack. We're gonna bring Fluffy the snack, and then we're free. And there's one more puppy in this last room. This room's also where the exit is, though, so we get it on the way out.
All right.
There we go. Coast Royal Museum. And now we're in the underground. So this is another slope boost, and we're going to use this slope boost to get the train. Yeah, there we go. Something about when you hit the train, it gives you a really big speed boost, and you can use it to get
I'll see you later.
over that section of track. And this level's pretty lag heavy because there's so much water around.
Give Cruella a bite.
And this is where PC and Dreamcast have an advantage because they don't lag so much on this. But I killed the 2 boats in order to get a key here. We're gonna get blown up. Ooh. Use the fan to blow up all the way to the 2nd level here. There's a puppy.
You're a super puppy.
I do have to be careful because if there's a level I'm gonna die in, it's this one. There's a lot of enemies that you have to kill in order to progress and get puppies. There we go. So far, so good. For some reason, the Dreamcast version actually has a different soundtrack for this level.
I knew you'd rescue me.
And wanted to get that. The lag. The Dreamcast version has a different soundtrack, probably because its sound chip could support it and not necessarily for the PlayStation and PC versions. It has some extra instruments in it for some reason. And it also has a different soundtrack for the next level, which is Carnival. And so I keep getting copyright claimed on it, actually, because it was used as a sample in another song. It's Carnival of the Animals, which is a pretty well-known orchestral piece.
Boy, am I glad to see you.
But this one, this version, and the PC version do not use Carnival of the Animals. These use Dance Macabre, which I'm sure somebody laughed about. So this is Carnival, and this one's a kind of a fun level, especially on this category, because in All Puppies you get to see it, and you get to see all the different cool things that the developers put in to make it seem like a carnival or a funhouse or something like that. There's rooms that when you enter multiple times, they're different. There's trampolines, there's carnival games. And you don't get to see any of it on the all levels or any % categories because you don't have to do this level at all to get to the end and leave. You can just roll straight to the end. And I didn't realize that as a kid, which is hilarious to me because I thought, you know, you have to do things. No, you don't have to do anything. You just have to go to the end. But we're gonna save all the puppies so you get to actually see the level.
What a stuffy in there.
This puppy's very hidden here, actually. Doesn't look like you can go back here, but you can.
Oh
That's one of my favorite lines, just because it's such an adult thing to say, and these are puppies. Alright, so this little wagon actually has a lot of different stuff inside of it. Including 2 puppies, so we're gonna see it a little bit.
Thank you so much.
So that was puppy number 1. We're gonna leave. Then we're gonna go back. And now it's different, but there's no puppy in this one, so we'll go back again. And again. And this one's got a little puzzle, but there is a puppy in here.
Excelsior! I'm free! Hey!
Alright, this is the last puppy. And it is on the roller coaster staging area. That's a roller coaster that you can actually ride. And so 100% you would ride it. But not here. You ride it and capture donuts. Somebody in this game really liked donuts. And that's Carnival. So now we're on to Lumber Mill. And I'm not sure if I completely follow the progression of levels in this game. It gets even weirder later, but went from the Carnival to Lumber Mill, which has giant spinning logs and lots of lag. For some reason these logs have like a slippery texture, like ice or something. Gotta kill both of these to get this puppy over here.
Way to go!
You're the greatest.
And that was a tight jump there. But if you jump and roll and turn it, you can get around corners that way. Oh, yikes. These bulldozers are vicious.
You're a super puppy.
That has to be my favorite voice line of them all. You're a super puppy. There's a few different goes up. Oh.
I got an idea.
So now we're almost to the end. In order to get to the end, we have to operate heavy machinery. Isn't that what all dogs do? So we're going to use this crane to get another puppy, but also to leave. Gotta use it to move this log so we can get out of here.
Nice job!
Because all dogs can drive cranes. There we go. That's Lumber Mill. So now we fight Cruella again, and this time we're flinging watermelons at her. This is where it's important to be oddball because of the faster voice line. Oh, I was trying to look cool. Didn't work. There's a fast cycle you can get, but it's not the end of the world if you don't. But she speeds up. Oh, stop there. She speeds up as she gets hit more. This is the voice line that you can't skip. Oddball says it faster. There we go. On that last one, I can look cool because if you fling the watermelon at a 45-degree angle, it'll always hit her. Now we're in Countryside. This is another one where normally we would... Oh, shit. This is another one where normally we would really skip most of it. But with All Puppies, you get to see more of it. And unfortunately, that means killing these annoying planes here. Go. Hello. Ooh, let's see again. There we go. And this is where the puppy is.
Alright.
I'm a little low on health, so I do have to be careful. But luckily, no other enemies we need to kill.
Thanks for rescuing me.
Now we're gonna go back a little bit. Went from the lumber mill to the countryside, of course. This room does have a fair bit of lag because of all the water.
You saved me.
We go. Oh, hey, you stopped me there.
Way to go!
This level, because of the way that it's made with all the hills, it has some fun places for slope boosts. That right there was a nice one. Ooh, okay, I barely... That was nice. You could actually see the dog through the wall there.
Nice job!
Now we've got one more puppy to rescue. And this one's in Stonehenge? Question mark? Yes, we have Stonehenge here. Because why not? But actually, if you do 100%, you get to destroy Stonehenge. Because why not? In 100%, there's a cutscene with this guy right here, where you knock over Stonehenge. But we don't do that here. We're done right now with Countryside, and now we're on to Barnyard. That was Priscilla you just saw, Priscilla the pig. It's her birthday. Because it's her birthday, we're gonna help her out with her chores, because the farmer doesn't do anything here. And Priscilla does it all. But it's Priscilla's birthday, so we're gonna be nice.
Boy, am I glad to see you.
So we just turned on the water for Priscilla. That filled her trough up. Now we have to go back and see her again to get the next task. Just to fix the windmill over here. And so this is like Royal Museum, where we have to do all these tasks before we can leave. And in both these levels, it doesn't help to get out of bounds because you still can't leave. The exit doesn't spawn until you've completed the last task. There we go, we fixed the windmill. Now we have to get the hens back in their coop. I'm gonna set up for a death warp here because since this level's so big and you have to go back to Priscilla every single time, it's a lot faster to death warp in a lot of situations here. So here we go. Gotta put the hens in. This can be a very annoying part if you get messed up. The hens start going the wrong way. Good. Here we go. I need to not die here. We don't have to save puppies, then it's okay to actually stack the cutscenes there. It's kind of cool. You can get the rooster cutscene at the same time that you die, and then you only see the death animation. But we're not doing that because we have to save the puppy. So it's very important not to take that last damage until you're ready.
Yeah, I'll see you later.
And our next task is to go and empty out the grain silo. because the farmer left his tools at the bottom of it, and now we are going to waste all of the grain to get them out, I guess. What's more concerning is there's definitely a puppy at the bottom of it. So, I don't know how it's been doing that. But it survived, and we're gonna go rescue it. And you saw I just jumped through the haystack there. That was an out-of-bounds trick for some reason. If you jump at the corner there, you go warp to the top. Which is not where you're supposed to be, which is why it's considered out of bounds. Now I'm going to remember to get this puppy because this is the puppy I miss most often. If I missed a puppy, it's probably this one. And I always remember before I leave the level, but it's just not fun to have to go back. So I can press roll and interact at the same time there to just roll straight to Priscilla as soon as you spawn back in. And our final task is to go and knock down the outhouse. So we just got the key to the tractor and we're going to drive it into the outhouse. And you might think that this is some pro-revenge on Priscilla's part to knock down the farmer's outhouse, but actually, Priscilla's just being helpful. The farmer just got indoor plumbing, and so he doesn't need the outhouse anymore. Right now I'm going to do an out of bounds right here. I don't actually understand how this one works, but if you jump and roll at that wall there, you can't get through it. It's kind of a weird experience.
I knew you'd rescue me.
There we go. You do a death warp right here real quick. Now we've got all the puppies, and we can go back to Priscilla, and we can leave. And you actually saw there was a birthday gift we could give Priscilla, and so if... potentially that could be an incentive for getting Priscilla's birthday gift. But if not, we actually don't have to, which is actually a little sad. You have to get Fluffy his donut, but you don't have to get Priscilla her birthday gift. And now we're in Ice Festival. Don't ask me why there is an Ice Festival, because we're still in England, and it's still whatever time it was in Barnyard. It seems to be like summer or early fall, but now we're at the Ice Festival. Because of course. It's the obligatory ice level. Got the first dog. And this level's actually the one that's available in the demo. I'm not really sure why, because it's not the best level in the game. It's very strange because it's an ice level. Actually, I don't know what the best level in the game would be. I just don't think I'd pick this level to represent the game. And that's some lag. So now the penguins are going to try to slide into us. I'm gonna avoid them. I'm gonna go over here and try to get a boost. Ah, didn't work. But that's okay. This is the Slalom Course. You don't have to do any of it to get to the end. You just have to get to the end. And for some reason they hid a dog in here. There's no other place like this in the entire game where they hid a dog inside something like that. But they did, so we got it. And right now there's actually a trigger that we have to avoid because throughout the game you can have confrontations with the Baddens, which are Cruella's henchmen. And you can put them in silly predicaments, like getting their head stuck in a beehive, or in that case, you have Jasper. I actually don't remember which one's which. You have that guy fall into a pond. But we don't want to do that, so we're going to try to avoid all of them. And 100% we do them because that's required to get all the stickers.
You're a super puppy!
But that's the last puppy. And here we are. Now we're in Ancient Castle, where it's nice and sunny and summer, question mark? At least spring, I don't know. Definitely not winter, but here we are, right after Ice Festival. This was one of my favorite levels as a kid, just because of the atmosphere and the music. I don't know, something about it. This level does have a few different options for out of bounds, but they're really not useful for the All Puppies category, so I'm gonna stay in bound.
You're the greatest.
This does have a lot of secrets in it, though. I'm gonna kind of go back and forth to get all the secret areas.
You saved me.
And there's a bedroom over here. And this unlocks the secret area behind the fireplace, which we'll have to go back to get the puppy from. Yes, there was a puppy in the fireplace. There's some puppies in weird places. There's the one in the silo, one in the fireplace, and there's also one on top of a boiler later. That seems safe. There we go.
You're a super puppy.
You're a super puppy. Now we're gonna go and catapult ourselves up to the top of the castle. Is that safe? Here we are. Now there's this wind that's gonna try to really make us not press. There's a puppy over here first, and this puppy just jumps down the hole. I don't know. I hope he's okay. That was the last puppy. So now, just get to the end if we can get through all this wind. I definitely hated this part the most as a kid. Ooh, that was unexpected. There we go. Here's the end. Now we're on to Cruella 3, and so in this one we're going to be flinging pumpkins at Cruella using a catapult. We like catapults, we like fruit. Or whatever a pumpkin is considered. I tried to do a manipulation. That's okay. It was close. If you get half the manipulation, you still save time. So it's always worth trying. But basically we're trying to get Cruella to the right place along the wall at the top. So that when I hit this last block out of the way, she's right where we need her. Except this time she threw an extra bullet at me. And you're not supposed to be able to hit her through this wall here, but if she's turned sideways, you can. You're supposed to wait until she's in between the walls. But we beat Cruella for the third time, which means there's only one left. Now we're in Spooky Forest. This one's something of a maze. I definitely got lost in it when I was learning
You're the greatest.
this category. Because in the other categories, like all levels, you don't have to do hardly any of it. It really does get the spooky aesthetic going.
Yip, yip, yippee! I'm free.
Way to go!
Now we're gonna go and save this puppy from the giant spider web over here.
Nice job!
Honestly, this one's got called Spooky Forest, but it doesn't have the spookiest music or anything. Kind of cozy music. Now when we get to Deville Manor, that one's creepy.
You saved me.
I fell off the top there. Actually, that is the fastest way to do it because you could fall off during the cutscene while the dog is talking.
You're a super puppy.
That was the last puppy. Okay. We're almost done. So this is Hedge Maze. Hedge Maze is a real maze. It is a real struggle, especially to route. There have been some major changes to the route.
Boy,
But at this
am I
point,
glad to see you.
we use some Death Warp to whoops, get back and forth more efficiently. You have to be very careful about which switches you turn and when so that you're able to get all the puppies in the fastest
You're
way.
a super puppy.
I don't know if you can hear my cat, but I'm sure it's because he's protesting that I'm playing a dog game and not a cat game. Or he just wants dinner. It's probably the second one. And here you see these giant rotating balls of death. Very friendly mates. You have to be very careful not to get the checkpoint. Otherwise it'll mess up the death warp later. And this is supposedly like in Cruella's backyard because the next place that we go is Deville Manor. Oh, whoops. I didn't actually have to go this far down here. I just have to wake him up to get the checkpoint. Which I already did. And then the reason we have to do this at all is because we have to turn this switch in order to get one of the puppies. All this work for a single puppy. Again, I have to be careful not to get the checkpoint here because it'll mess up my other one. Another giant ball of death. I mean, honestly, I think this would keep most people out of Cruella's mansion.
You're the greatest.
Gotta use this to death warp. And it'll take us to that parrot that we woke up before. This is actually Waddlesworth. He does have a name. Waddlesworth the parrot. I think he's actually, like, featured in the... I seem to remember that from, posters and stuff.
I knew you'd rescue me.
We got one more puppy to get. Done with this one. So this is a puzzle that I'm doing, as you can see, and it's actually one of the few instances of RNG in the run, because the way that these pieces are oriented is completely random. And so you can turn them one time, or you can turn them 3 times. That can really impact your run if you have to turn all of them 3 times. And that's Hedge Maze. So now we've got only 3 levels left, 2 more levels with puppies, and 1 more Cruella fight. So this is Deville Manor, and they never expected you to race this cat here. So, you can get ahead of him, and he'll actually just disappear after a certain point. His name is Sergeant Tibbs. here he is again. He has reappeared for us up here to help us. And there's a puppy over here. This level's weird because all the puppies are at the end. You can see I skipped most of the beginning of the level, and then there's this puppy kind of in the middle. And then we're gonna go to the end and get the rest of them. They put all of them really close to each other.
Sure feels good to be out of there.
So that's puppy 2. And we're gonna get puppy 3 right here. Then puppy 4 is in the bathroom.
Hero.
I think it's the bathroom, honestly, it's hard to tell.
Which way to the bathroom?
If it is the bathroom, the good news is that puppy, who just asked us where the bathroom is already in the bathroom. But anyways, so now we're at 4 puppies, and the last 2 are down here in the boiler room.
Oh man, am I hungry or what?
So that's puppy 5. And here's puppy 6. I'm a little worried about the one that's on top of the boiler, but then again, we're also walking on top of the boiler, which you can see is currently on fire, so I don't know. I think we have some heat-resistant dogs here. It's a new adaptation. And now we're in Toy Factory. This is the last level, normal level, not a boss fight. It's kind of creepy, actually. It's dark and spooky, and there's these things that try to crush you, which is kind of terrifying. Slow boost there.
Which way to the bathroom?
I don't know how any of these machines produce toys. It's the toy factory, but I have questions. You can see some toys on conveyor belts, like here. Mostly it's just a bunch of things that look like they're trying to kill you. Because they are. Oh, I almost got a boost there. Oh well. If you rub against those crushers when they start going, you can get a boost, but I got the wrong cycle to get the boost from them.
Wow, it's really bright out here.
You actually, at this point, in any of the other categories, you would just leave the level and go out of bounds, but we gotta save all the puppies. Go all the way to the level that way. Oh, wow. So the weird thing about these platforms is that you have to get the upward momentum from them in order to get places sometimes.
I'm going
Which really is requiring a lot of coordination for kids. That one seems like it'd be very hard to get. That's Fluffy again, actually. I should mention that. That's Fluffy from the museum. And he's at the toy factory because he was captured by Cruella's toys and managed to escape because he squeezed through the crate's air hole. Okay, Fluffy. Oh. Okay. That's a rare glitch where you actually miss the loading zone. I can't say that that's never happened before, but that's the second time that's ever happened to me. And I've tried to reproduce it.
Ooh, sure feels good to be out of there.
Okay, so now we're almost at the end. This part's got some tricky platforming. Oh. and I missed the first one. Trying again. This one's got some tricky platforming that I'm going to take slowly so that I don't miss it all. You're supposed to move all of these gears, but we don't because it's faster to not. So that means we've got some tight jumps to do. First, we gotta get this dog.
When I get my paws on Cruella, I'm gonna...
And that's the last one. Then we have to go back. Do it again to get to the exit. Ha! I should have lined that up better. We're gonna do it one more time. There we go. Beautiful. Now all that's left is beating Cruella. And this time, actually, we get better weapons than just fruit. We get a laser. But this is a kid's game, so we can't shoot Cruella with the laser. We have to shoot her machines. And if I'm good, I'll get this in one cycle. There we go. Next up is these robot heads, and this is the second instance where RNG is actually kind of important to the run, because whether these robot heads pop up is all RNG. Like, this is some pretty bad RNG. Not the worst, but pretty bad. Excuse me. Wow, okay. So I'm gonna try to get all 4 that are left on the next one. Usually I have 4 already, not just 2. And I'm gonna also turn off my shield sometimes to try to conserve energy, since it's being very unfriendly. Oh, where are they? So, that's 5. 6, please. Okay, we're good. Now we get to shoot these electric balls. The reason that it's so useful to get the right cycle here is that now I know exactly where the next one's going to spawn, and it's right here. That's time! So what we do now is we drop Cruella into the super glue. But that's it. That's 102 Dalmatians, all puppies. We rescued all 96 puppies. I can save the game to prove it. It'll be 73%. And that's that. And I'm really hoping that we can get this in as a race, because I think it would be really cool to show off the head-to-head counting of the puppies, because the audience will be able to follow along and track how many puppies each person has. And I think it'll be really fun. So that is being submitted as a race with TaintedTali. And otherwise, this is All Puppies. And thank you.